right. Here we go. All right. So mat class today, and we'll just kind of explore all kinds of movement today. All right, let's get going. All right, here we go. All right, my angle is so different. All right, I'm just feeling the need to go wide. Let's take a nice deep breath. We're going to take a deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to round down through the spine and hang upside down at the hips, kind of right away today. And we're going to soften those knees as we slowly restack, rounding through the spine, and we're going to repeat that. So a bit of a full movement here. Inhale, little extension of the heart up, and then rolling through on your exhale. Soften the knees as you do a little stack, easy stack, and let's do that again. Inhale up, lift that heart, expand the chest, and then roll through. Now let's stay here and walk over to one leg. Other side. Back to center. Soften and round. Very good. We're going to stay in this wide position, soften the knees, and go through figure 8. Let that go up the spine, neck, shoulders. Little freestyle. Good. Then we're going to stay center here, and we're going to circle the pelvis. Now, full circle, one way, and allow it to come forward a bit to open up the front. And now reverse. Good. Now, let's bring in the legs just a little bit and soften the knees even more. And I'm going to have you just do, and this is not dance class, but this is still conditioning. It's sending the pelvis side to side, because what happens is that you're contracting your QL, your side core over here. It's also a nice stretch for still in the loins. Also super good for the spine to have more movement. Remember, the pelvis holds the base of your spine, so what you do with your pelvis gets movement all the way up. All right, and then we're going to do a standing 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So we want to feel a bit of a contraction here in your 6, and then a little tail out for your 12. So contraction, and then a little tail out, contract, and tail out. So these are also standing versions of working your core. And the knees definitely need to be soft to get this kind of movement. Harder to do with straight legs. And one more. Okay, and then up. All right. Yes. All right, now I'm going to bring the feet in a little bit more parallel. I'm running through a whole bunch of new stuff that I've learned lately. So we're going to come back to our parallel and bend the knees and lift the heels. So now you can still keep your core engaged. You can take arms out if you'd like a little bit more balance support. Good. Now we're going to roll through one at a time. Stretch the toes. You got it. Now we're going to leave one heel up. Stay stable, centered in your pelvis, and we're just going to stay on one side for bending and straightening for a moment. Let's do, we'll do 8, 6, 7. Nice and smooth through that knee. 8. Try the other side. Good alignment, knees straight ahead. 2. 7 and 8. You got it. Now, back to the first side. We're going to do the opposite, which is we're going to leave these toes down. Now you're going to see if you can lift that heel for 8. 1, 2, 3. Woo. Arms out, back out for this. Okay, right? All right, we did this with the chair last week, so now we're giving it a go without. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yay. Okay. Now back to the first side. We're going to take off this foot and find our balance for a moment. And you know, remember that you want to keep your balance by keeping your pelvis level. As soon as you hike or move that pelvis, you're going to teeter and tilt. All right, let's try the second side. Keep the waist level. Lift, hold balance. Good, and you want to, when you're balancing, just feel that whole foot, the heel, the outer foot, the ball of the foot, the toes. All right, back to the first side. We're going to see if we can take a slow bend and straighten of that knee. Nice and easy. All right, let's try the second side. So keep the pelvis level. Find your balance first. And then slowly bend and straighten. Might be a small bend, that's okay. Oh, I can feel my muscles fighting on this side. That's okay. And woohoo, boom. Okay, let's shake that out. So that was probably enlightening. We're going to keep working at it though. All right. So now I'm going to have you, this is something that Miss Karen shared, a trainer, Pilates lady, doing some special horse prep, and I'm going to take this from her. So what we're doing is, it's basically a lunge, but I'm showing you a bit on the angle. So I'm on a front foot, toes straight ahead and knee, but my back foot is outward slightly. All right, so if I did this straight ahead, it'd look like this. All right, but we're going to open the pelvis a little bit on this angle. So we can do our little back to our hip circles in this open lunge position. So just give it a go slow. And what's getting stretched and moved here is your iliopsoas that hooks in front of your low spine, hooks into the second part of the muscle inside the pelvis, and then hooks into the inside of your femur, way back there. So it's one of your torso flexors, but also can be quite tight. Now circle the other way, especially maybe on one side. Like mine, I know I have to deal with all the time because I've got scoliosis and I've got one leg shorter than the other one, so my crunchy side, just tends to stay tight, which is what my hip is doing right now. It goes in and out of that little syndrome of tightness. All right, so nice and easy. Hopefully there's no discomfort in doing any of that. Then just ease that back to center, and let's go to the opposite angle. So my knees and toes are still in good alignment. My back foot is open. My pelvis is kind of on a little bit of an angle. Let's try the circles here. And there might be a big difference side to side, or there might not be. But just kind of notice, and then the more you get used to it, the bigger your range can go. And then reverse your circle. All right, and then come back. See how those hips feel. And then we're going to do the one that we would normally do, is just back to open on the angle, and we're going to come down nice and deep into our wide squat. Hold there momentarily, and then come back up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And one more. And back in. All right. Shake that out. Good. All right. Well, I want to do one more, and that's coming back to our inward rotation. And so I'm going to have you open up the feet kind of just outside of your normal parallel so that when we bend our knees, there's actually room for them to go. All right. Now, in your inward rotation, you might already start to feel a stretch of those outward rotators already. And now we're going to center that pelvis and just do our bend and straightening here, keeping your pelvis level, a little extra core here, because this position might want to stick your tail out. That last PT that I went to a while back, maybe last year, she not only worked out my pelvic floor, but she was checking on me as to anything that I might need to strengthen, and we came to, not that they were really bad, but I could use more inward rotation strength. So if I need it, you guys might need it. Boom. And we got it. All right, now we'll shake that out. And let's go ahead to the mat, and we'll keep stretching and strengthening. All right, we're going to face the front first. And let's go ahead and, let's do this one. All right, I'm trying to rotate through our stretches here. So we're going to tuck one foot in, and nice and tall. As you exhale, leaning forward over a long leg in front. Really relaxing this other hip as much as you can. And then back up, inhale. Let's add a flex and point. And then as you exhale, relax the foot and lean forward. And up, Another flex and point. This time, we're going to slide the opposite hand down the outside of this leg. So exhale, release the foot, reach, and go forward, breathe. And back up. All right, switching that out. Ease it forward. So that first stretch forward, you can see where you're starting in range. Feel what's wanting to pull in different places. Come up, add your flex and point. And then exhale, relax the foot, ease it forward. And up, flex and point one more time as we prepare the arm to slide down the outer leg. Relax and exhale, reach it forward. Good, and ease that up. Both legs up. And now let's just place both of the bottoms of the feet together. Again, you don't have to pull this in. A diamond shape will work just fine. Let's take a little butterfly wing for a moment, encouraging the hips to release any holding as much as possible. Then we're going to stack it tall. Take an exhale and roll through it, chin to chest. Round it forward, walk the hands forward, release the back of the neck. Restack all the way up, rotate over one thigh. Same idea, keep both cheeks grounded. Exhale, relax, shoulders and the neck. Inhale up through the middle, exhale over the other thigh. Big sigh. Release the neck and shoulders, keep both cheeks down. And up to center and down center one more time, rolling through. And restack. All right, if your legs are doing okay in this position, great. If they need to go to straight, feel free to change it up. But we haven't done this one in a while, and I'm going to try it. From here, keeping both cheeks down, we're going to do our side bend. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, over. Softening that bottom elbow, releasing the neck. And then inhale, grow tall through the middle. Exhale, over side. Good. Now, back to the first side. Haven't done this one in a long time. Side bend. Then we're going to rotate toward the thigh and just kind of reach on the diagonal. And with both cheeks down, you can feel a nice deep wrapping stretch around that opposite waist. Then ease it back to the side bend and back to center gently. Second side, side bend, folding onto the ankle, reaching out over the thigh on the ankle. Both cheeks grounded, breathe. Back to the side bend and back up. Yay, we've got one more in us. Let's try it. It's quite the deep stretch back there. Rotate, reach. Back to side and up. Second side, bend, forward fold on the angle, reach, breathe. Back to the side bend and up. Woo! Nice. Slide those legs out. Give them a shake. Woo-hoo. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, let's go ahead and come on down and strengthen some core. All right, so find your center on the mat, the pelvis down the middle, check your shoulders and the head. It's equal distance down the middle. All right, let's take our 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock again for a moment. And then center your 3 and your 9. Good, and back to center. Let's take our circle all the way around, all 4 points, back side of the pelvis, pressing into the mat, and then reverse. And back to center. All right, arms up, same idea, ground the blades. Get rid of any kinks in those shoulder joints in the front, and then circle, keeping the blades down. And reverse. Good. Take both arms overhead and then both by your sides. Nice and smooth and graceful. Keep that shoulder blade back and down. Now alternate. Good. Then bend both elbows out to your goal pose position, and just take your arms back into goal post, and then forward. So we usually do this on the roller, but here's the flat version. So palm down, and then the back of the palm, and you're just doing a slight inward rotation and an outward rotation. But check out how much movement might be trying to happen around the blade or the ball and socket. Smooth it out. Good. And back. All right, we're going to come back to the core here. So pelvic floor in and up. So hold your P muscles or draw as if you could move your sits bones in and up. They can't, but you can power up the core. Pelvic floor as you exhale. Hold on to that deep engagement as we pick up each foot. Let's go right into our toe touches. Relax your arms. Relax your jaw. Relax your neck. Then pause and flex both heels. Go on to heel touches. Every exhale, pulling in even more. Good. Hold on to both knees. Give a quick hug. Love, love. Love to yourself. Love and approval of yourself and your body. Acceptance. And gratitude. Good. We're going to hold on to one knee, flex the heels, reach the other leg on the 45, straight knee. Hold that for a moment, and then switch. Bring those back in. Femur arc, thigh circles. And reverse. Good. Feet back down, arms overhead, half upper body curl. Reach past the shins, inhale back, exhale to curl. All right, we're going to go on to the obliques. So take that gentle rotation on a low angle, rocking onto each shoulder blade. Nice. Bring that back, roll the head side to side. Loosey-goosey the neck again. Got it. All right. I'm going to come back to bringing the knees up, feet up, and creating a little chair posture here, opening up the arms. We're going to take one thigh at a time, opening to the side, bring them center, open the other one directly side, and bring center. So we want to cinch in that waist, stabilize the pelvis, allowing the hip to open and close center without much rocking. Good. Now we're going to bend and straighten those knees, flex and point the ankles, glue the legs together for a moment. And now with long legs up, flex feet, same move, single leg directly open side, close center, other one side, and close center. Really activating that deep core, so still think pelvic floor in and up. Hold your P muscles. Also a nice cinching around the waist to anchor you. To create as much movement in the hip as possible. It's not only about stretching, but also making sure that the hips feel like they've got core as their backup. Good. Now we're going to outward rotate the legs, press the heels together into a frog position, and just go straight up and bend in. So keep that slight press of the heels. Power up those inner thighs again. Keep breathing. Lots of core here. Pulling in. Easy in the neck. Keep spiraling the thighs outward. If they want to pull in, keep spiraling out. You can even have your hands help them if they need support or encouragement. Good. Now open both legs and stretch. Again, circle the ankles. And reverse. Curl the toes and spread them out. Good. Now we're going to bend at the knees and bring them up on an angle, on a high diagonal, and hold that stretch. Now, we don't usually add, this is like half of a happy baby, but I'm going to have you go ahead and do the rest of it, where you're going to now lift those lower legs up toward the sky, and you can either hold your shins or hold the heels, whatever feels right to you. As long as you're not straining, I just want you to focus on the hip, massive hip stretch here. Good. Ease those gently back down to the floor. All right, I'm gonna have you take feet off outside of the mat and double knee fold to one side, open the arms, and melt. Up and over other side. Big sigh. Good. Back to center. Now, we've done this stretch a few times. Just make sure you got kind of some side room for this. I'm going to have you take the bottoms of the feet back together in this position. Take a quick check on what just happened to your spine. If you arced quite a bit, then just do that little scooch and a little leveling out of the pelvis, activating a little extra core, but not glutes, and still see if your legs can relax in this position as much as they can. Even if you don't feel like they got a lot of range, see if they can just relax as much as possible. So just hold here and breathe. Make sure your glutes are relaxed, your butt cheeks, your thighs, your calves, your hips. Nothing's trying to hold or grip, just release. All right. Now, what we're going to do is take, for instance, your left leg. We're going to bring it up, bent knee, and you're going to hook underneath that knee with your right hand. Keep the knee bent, and now you're just going to guide that pelvis is going to rotate. So we're going to go into the spine a bit, bring that thigh across the body, and then up on an angle on a diagonal, and just hold it. So let the leg relax in your hand. Your arm and hand are doing all the work. And just breathe here for a moment. You want the inside of that hip to release any tension and the outside. You can even bounce it a little bit if it needs encouragement to release. Good. Now, keep going and see if the toes will touch and see if the leg can stretch and straighten out to the side. So you're in a spinal spiral, and the outside of the hip is getting a stretch, and the top of the foot or the inside of the foot is on the floor, hopefully. Then just open up the arms and look to the sky for a moment. Breathe. Good. Now we're going to take that hand back underneath that knee, gently ease that leg back to where you started. Bottoms of the feet together, we release tension. And now let's try the other side. So right leg across, left hand underneath. Hold here for a moment, like bring the thigh up on a little bit of an angle, and then just try to jostle it for releasing tension, gently. And breathe. now we're going to see if we can straighten the leg gently and lay down the instep on the floor. Straightening the knee gently. It's going to create more of a spiral on the spine. And just hang out here, open the arms, look straight up to the sky and breathe. Relax again as much muscle in that leg as you can. Good. Then cradle gently back underneath the knee. Easy does it. Ease that leg slowly back to where we started. Bottoms of the feet back together and re-center and re-relax every single muscle in and around those hips. Good. Now from this position, I'm going to have you slowly straighten one leg at a time onto a big lower angle on the floor, creating the bottom of an X. And then just notice again if you tend to arc in the spine, mine is, so I'm going to give it a little scoot in my spine and a little extra leveling of my pelvis, little activation of core, so I'm not too arched back there. Wiggle the legs a little. You can open them even more once they're out there. They get the idea, and you can open the bottom of your X even more. If you tend to arc again, then readjust. And now I'm going to have you take your upper arm, your arms on the high X. So for a moment, we are in X. And we're going to breathe and relax every muscle in our X for a moment while they stretch. Very good. Then just gently glide one leg down center, slide the other leg gently down center, the arms overhead, and just wiggle, wiggle in and out rotation of those hips, legs. Excellent. We're going to bring those feet back up underneath. We're going to take the feet out wide again just off the mat, but this time we're going the other way into inward rotation. So you're just going to let those legs, the thighs, rest up against each other. Toes, don't forget the ankles. Make sure the toes are aimed in slightly. And now you can feel an inward rotation stretch. And some of you might feel that all the way around the pelvis as a deep stretch. Again, level out the pelvis. Notice if you arced, level that out, but let the legs release in this stretch. Then I'm going to have you allow just one thigh to go down a little bit farther into the inward stretch. Back up to center. Let the other one just glide just down a little bit farther. This is a little bit different angle than we did a minute ago. And then back to center. Just notice where you're feeling that stretch. Try that again. First thigh down a little bit more. And up, and then the second thigh. Oh yeah, woohoo! Walk those feet back up onto the mat, and let's take another roundabout of the pelvis, around in a circle just to check in. And the other way. Good. All right, we are going on to our sides and then back up onto all fours for a moment. I don't know about you guys, but just felt the need for a lot of extra stretch today. So hopefully that's working out for you too. All right, so on all fours, first thing is just going to open the knees and open the hands. We're going to seek her. And then release it out. Exhale, C curve. And release it out. All right, we are going into pigeon. So we're going to slide one thigh up, have a seat on that cheek, walk the other leg back. We're going to come down on our elbows. Take a breathing moment. And then forehead to hands. Continue to breathe. And then same arm above as same leg behind. And reach it up there, forehead back on the other hand, and breathe. And then walk the torso upright. Center that pelvis and shoulders as much as you can. Little lift of the heart. Breathe it out. Good. Now you can either go back up onto all fours or swivel right around to the other side. I'll let you pick. Just change out which leg now you're seated on. Bring that shin forward a little bit and see if you can get the top of that back leg onto the mat as much as it'll go. Then back to the elbows. First, some breaths. And then forehead to hands and breathe. And then same arm above as same leg below, and just crawl those fingers up and breathe. And walk the torso upright. Lift the heart a little. Good. All right. So now I'm going to have you just straighten out the legs, and we're going to go on our belly for a moment. More obviously focused on the hips today. All right, we're going to rest our head here on our hands for a moment. We're going to bring the legs up underneath us. We're going to bend those knees. And we've been working on this already. So place check with the pubic bone. Where is it? Is it lifted up? Go ahead and activate that core and push that pubic bone into neutral. Keep the thighs up against one another, and you're going to open and close the lower leg. Just directly side. They're going to open to the side and close center. Open and close center. And you'll notice if one thigh wants to start to separate out from the other side, move it back to center. Keep going. If the pubic bone starts to lift, just activate that push down. All right, now we're going to leave the legs open out there to the center, or out to the side, and now we're going to circle the lower leg opposite each other. It's kind of like our thigh circles. Now our lower leg circles opposite. And make sure that, allow them to go as wide exploration out to the side as possible. And then reverse. And now if you're really feeling some extra tightness on one side, just do a circle, a little extra on that side, allowing it to go as far to the outer part of your circle as it can. And then if you want to try the other side by itself, you can try it just to feel the difference. And then open them both back out to the side. Nuzzle those thighs up against each other and let's let them relax here. So now it's back to a stretch and breathe and releasing as much tension as you can. And then slowly let them come down onto the mat gently. Excellent. All right. We're going to come up to the elbows and ease back into child's pose. You can keep your thighs in or let them go wide, whatever feels right to you. Stretch the fingers, curl them up, and stretch them out. Good. Back up onto all fours, one more C curve. And then back to center. Here was another one from that same teacher we did a bit ago. So I'm going to have you do, bring the knees together in this all four position, and then just do a little swivel of both lower legs to one side. And it seems like a part of the banana, where we've done the banana lying flat, where we curl to the same side. This is a quadruped version of that to open up the waist. So you can try to look at those toes on that side. Then bring it all to center. Try the other side. So both shins go to one side, and now you're going to gently try to look over that shoulder to see those toes. And it's going to open up that opposite waist. And back to center. Try that again. First side. Center. Second side. And center. Take another C curve. Just open up the knees. Take another C curve just to Make sure our low back's happy enough about all of that. Tuck the toes. Let's come through our squat. Letting the heels reach toward the floor for a moment. And then bottoms up. Hang upside down. Big side. Soften the knees and round to step. Good, good, good. Shake all that out. I just wanted to do a kind of a test. So I'm going to take you back into this new position on the angle, and we're going to do one more time our hip circles just to check in to see if they feel better. Do they feel more open? Or that this is just another good way to keep opening those hips. So reverse that circle if you haven't already. And if you feel a spot where you feel a stretch, then you can also hold that. So you've got an angle on that curl, on that swing. Just hold that stretch for a moment. And then ease that back to center. Shake that out. Try the other angle again. Just a quick check-in. So we're on the angle, good alignment here. Open toes in the back, and we're circling the pelvis. But it's really about all of the attachments into the around the hip, into the loins, if you will. Other side. And if you find a nice stretch, and you just want to hold that stretch in that loin, hold that. At the center, good, give that a shake. And then just to come back to what we would normally do, check in, let's come back to figure eight as a way to come back where we started, but hopefully feeling a lot more open. Let that go back up the spine again. Remember, this is also moving energy, kundalini energy. Lots of good things are going on when we move that spine and keep those hips open and mobile. Strong, but stretched. Awesome. Okay, let's finish that up. Good work, everybody. All right, then we're going to twirl those wrists, full body on stretch. And reverse. Exhale, toss away. And again, let's inhale. Oh, lots of peace and harmony, right? So we want that balance of strength and stretch and groundedness and spirit, all the things that bring us into harmony with our heart, with our body, with our world. Inhale, more love and peace and harmony. Good, good, good. And then let's take a moment and breathe into that beautiful heart of ours. Breathing in some more love and gratitude. Ground your feet to the earth as much as you can to help continue to balance and bring harmony to your body. and your energy. Thanks, everybody. Be good to yourselves and to your body. Thanks. Thanks for being here.